Hi, everybody. It's Bonk. No, it's not Bonkai 922. My new name is this King of Titans 922. People. Shingeki no Kyojin time. Now, this episode was good, but this is getting a low rating. No. It's getting a 4 out of 5. Because, it was like one thing that kind of, I think they used too much in this episode, which they've used before, that, I just didn't like it. I thought it would have been best if, excuse me, if they didn't use too much of it in this episode, and they did, which is known by most people as, it's basically where characters stand still and you hear them talking and the camera just moves. They use that quite often in this episode, so that's why I'm really giving this a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5 out of 5. But the preview of next week's episode, people. And next week's going to be a real clusterfuck for me, because I'm going to have a double what the fuck. Because I'm going to have Attack on Titan, Shingeki no Kyojin. Then I'm going to watch Game of Thrones. So it's going to be like a double mindfuck. My mind gets raped on Saturday, and then it gets continued rapeness on Sunday. But yeah, the whole thing of this episode was that. That was why it's getting a 4 out of 5 instead of 5 out of 5. But anyway, let's get into the summary. This one was called, what was this called? Episode 8, Shingeki no Kyojin. Hearing the Heartbeat. Battle of Trust. Now, after last week with Armen, and this Armen was, man, give some, hey, people, give Armen his fucking due. He had his shit in gear in this episode. Yeah. He was planning and shit and stuff and knowing how to, he's smart. Armen can't fight. Let's be perfectly honest. He can't fight. But he can make plans and he can strategize. So give Armen his fucking due, people. But anyway, yeah, basically we left off with Mikasa, Connie, and Armen on the roof. And before they leave, as they're carrying Armen away, Armen just tells them to stop and says, I have an idea. Let's use that Titan. Let's use that Titan that's killing the other Titans. He doesn't seem like he wants to attack humans. He just wants to attack the Titans. So he basically tells them to follow his lead and try to get to, by using that Titan to get to the headquarters. And the other way, Jean's group and their group, Connie and Armen and Mikasa, on their way to the... That was an epic moment. I was like, yeah! And then that Titan's just... That Titan that's abnormal that they use to attack the other Titan who's just going ham on fucking Titans. I was just like, yo! Awesome. Awesome. Now, obviously, I know who that Titan is, but lips, loose lips, shink sips, so I'm not saying anything. Of course, we find out at the end of this episode who that Titan is. So, yeah. Alright, they're basically on their way, and we got Jean, and he realizes, Jean, pretty tough situation for Jean, seeing everyone getting eaten and stuff, and he feels like he's not cut out to be a commander of, scouts, Scouted Legion. And he just gets everyone to go, just go forward, now that they've been distracted with the people he was sacrificing there, comrades. And they're on their way to there. And someone gets eaten once, one person, and they finally get all the way to the headquarters area, and everyone goes through the window, and he sees these stupid, the Legion, these soldiers in this desk. They're like, crying their eyes and shit. And then he just takes one of them and just punches them and shit. It was just like an epic moment there. And that's basically what happened there. And then after that, a Titan kind of hits the wall and breaks through. And then there was this, oh my god, this epic scene with that Titan that was killing the other Titans. You just see it's like slow-mo, and it was silent. It just goes like this, slow-mo. I was like, fucking A. And just punched the living shit out of those Titans and just beat the shit out of all of them. And then here comes Mikasa, Connie, and Armin, and he's explaining to Jean of the situation. There were a lot of... Listen, people who don't read the manga, in this episode, you knew you saw it. You saw a lot of cues where you saw Reiner, Annie, and Brutholt were like together. Not gonna say anything, but those are hints of future events. But that's for another day. Anyway, there was a lot of hints of that in this episode. So after that situation, they all are able to get together and go down to the basement to fill up on, well, they need the gas. So they come up. After that, they get out of that area and they go into the area. They're trying to look for stuff to use against the Titan, the 3 to 4 meter Titans. The Titans that are really small, not that big, and get the gas from down there. So Jean gets some from this storage area. Before he gets that though, Connie starts talking to Annie. Well, actually, Reiner. And this was one instance where he tells him about the abnormal Titan. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's questioning about it. And then Annie looks at him. Not saying anything, but that was a cue, people. That was a cue. Then you get Jean coming in with the weapons. And they're gathering them and stuff and so on and so forth. And they're ready to go about this plan. This was an epic moment. Because this was Armin's plan. He's planning it out. He's telling you this, we could do this, use this, and blind them, and then we'll have somebody else go behind the Titans to slash them in the nape of the necks. I was like, yo, looking at Armin laying down the plans. He's got that brain, man. He's going in. So, we had that part. And then he's like doubting himself. And then Mikasa's there, be confident to him and stuff. And that was nice. That was a nice scene there. And then we had that. And they all go into the lift. And they're ready to go down to attack the Titan. 7. There's only 7. So it's not like a big crowd of them. And they were waiting until the Titans got close enough to them so they could shoot these basic muskets at them in their eyes. They do it. Everybody else jumps, hits the nape of the necks. I was like, yo, we're going in. Of course, there's the scene with Sasha. Sasha misses it. And she's like, she's apologizing. I think it was Dan Master 20. He calls this Titan the Moe Titan because of his eyes and shit. And Sasha doesn't die. Mikasa comes in and kills that one. Well, Mikasa and Annie come in to destroy that Titan. And everything's okay. And then she's like telling herself, he's going to do a Titan. And Connie's there just trying to snap her out of it. And there were a lot of scenes here. Yeah, it happened here. This kind of animation where they're not moving the characters. It's just they're standing still, they're talking, and the camera's moving. And I was just like, that kind of irks me. I gotta agree with my man Justin on that. That scene kind of irked me because it wasn't anything happening there. It was very blasé. But yeah, there was that, and then there was them going through, and a lot of scenes are Annie right, and in the scene where they're on top of the roof, and they see the Titan that was helping them, getting eaten by the other Titans, and Annie Reiner are like together say, he could become an ally of ours. We should help him out. We should help that Titan out. Q. I'm not gonna say anything else though, because then people are gonna be like, you're spoiling. But this was a big Q in this episode. And Jean was saying how, he's just worthless, he's just, and stuff. And then that's when, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes the Titan that ate Thomas. And the Titan that was helping him just breaks through it. Oh, man, it was so good. He had battle scars and shit. And there was some censorship, though, in this episode, but briefly. The rest, though, was beautiful. He just bite that motherfucker, throw him, and it was like, damn. And then finally that Titan fell apart. It fell down. And Mikasa's still looking at the Titan. And the Titan starts to dissolve. And reveal that someone was inside of the Titan. Everybody want to take a guess who was inside the Titan? EREN! What a surprise! Of course, I knew it was in the Titan. I just find it fun. I can only imagine hey, listen, people. Any anime-only watchers who watch the anime, who are subscribed to me and watch my reviews, I held back, man. Yeah, I held back. So, and basically what happens is Mikasa goes down, hugs him, and cries, and is crying, and you get, it was an emotional scene, and then Armin's grabbing he's there on the headquarters roof, and he's touching his arm that got bitten off, and he's surprised. He can't believe that he's alive. It's just so bizarre, and that's pretty much where the episode ends. Now, with Studio, you are unfucking believable. You're unbelievable. You are doing this manga so good that I have nothing to complain about it. Like, seriously. Oh, and you guys think this episode was good? Next week? Woo! Woo! Next week, go get some diapers. Dead serious. You gotta get some diapers. You gotta change your underwear. Because you're going to be shitting your pants when you see next week's episode. Now, this was pretty much what happened. And I'm really surprised about this. But Wit Studio covered 2 volumes in 8 episodes. 2! I'm like, damn. Just damn. I was unbelievably fascinated by that. Now, next week, I saw a few images for next week's episode. Oh, man, next week's episode. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Listen, people. Next week's episode, I'm going to fanboy really hard. It's going to be really blinding. It's just going to be so fucking blinding. This was a good episode. Like I said, the whole thing with the, animation moving. That was the whole reason I'm giving this a 4 out of 5, because there was too much of that. But overall, still, this was a great episode. Everyone's alive. Let's all stay together. And next week, get a new character reveal. We find out something. Next week is going to be... Each episode of Attack of Shingeki no Kyojin so far has been so good. Each week, it outdoes itself. Each fucking week. Like, seriously. And next week is going to be no different. Next week. After next week, every mother who watches this anime, the first thing you should do after you watch next week's episode, immediately, like no fucking around. After you watch the episode, you go to Manga Here, you go read the chapters, and you say, I read the manga. It's only 46 chapters, people. After next week, that's what everyone should be doing. No fucking around. But overall, great episode. Next week is gonna blow your fucking mind. Like, seriously. Forget about it. Everybody's gonna love that shit. Unbelievable, people. This has been King of Titans 922 and Bankai 922. This shit's gonna get good. Man, next week. Guys don't know it. You don't know what you're in for next week. And this is a long review, but I don't give a fuck because this episode, next week's episode, damn with Studio. You're killing me with Studio. You are turning me into a huger fan than I already am. Hell, you might as well call me Titan Fanboy 922. Yeah? But yeah, this has been Bankai 922. I'll see you guys later. Eren's alive. Armen for the motherfucking win. Let's go. Peace.